This is Colin Mockery, and you're listening to Dispatch Radio.
Sure, man.
All right, folks, we're talking about some of the different films that are going over at Gasparilla Film Festival, and one of them is called Leaves of the Tree, and we're going to talk more about that. It stars Armand Assante, Eric Roberts, Sean Young, and an actor named Kresh Novakovic, and his brother Ante we spoke to, who's a director and producer and helped co-write the film, and Kresh gets to talk with us a little bit more about his experience. Kresh, how are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm doing well. Pretty proud that I got to work with my brother. He directed it, produced it. I'm one of the lead actors and producer as well. And yeah, I'm doing well, man.
Very exciting times. Very exciting times. And give everybody a little bit of your little summary, your little brief synopsis of what they can expect from Leaves of the Tree.
Oh wow, I think it's I think that's better left with my brother, but I do believe anyone who watches because he directed it, right? So I might talk a little out of context, but from a character point of view, the character I played, but people can really enjoy the fact that they'll be taken on a ride of it follows very much faith themes and a belief, and people get challenged, and that's always exciting, and I believe the way my brother presented it, it leaves you with positive questions. You can make your own judgment. So it should be fun. Yeah. So people can expect a real fun ride and an interesting perspective on what is unseen and what we don't know. For instance, I always correlate it to if someone said, "Hey, Kresh, one day you're gonna pick up this phone and it's not going to be attached to anything, and these wavelengths are going to go across the world, and you can call Europe, and you could touch the screen." If someone told me that 20 years ago, I'd be like, well, I don't think so. Or 30 years ago, I'd be like, that doesn't sound like it's possible. So
sounds like science fiction
is always fun,
Right, absolutely. And this has some really recognizable names, Kresh. So who were you able to really work with, and what was your experience like for your character?
Oh wow, yeah, it was a great cast, and so I worked with working with Eric Roberts. I mean, he's a joy, and got to work with a lot with Federico Castelluccio, who's from I think quite notably with The Sopranos. He had that series on for a while, and he was so fascinating, learned so much. He's a painter, and Sean Young was so open and available, and you learn so much from these legendary actors like Armand Assante. If he's with you for a beat, I didn't have a scene with him, but if you speak to him about the work, it's just so mind opening, because they have experienced it, and they're true veterans. And with that being said, you can only grow. So I had such an amazing experience with these big time names that you mentioned. Their length of their wealth of knowledge that they gave to me, and I was able to share with them. They kept it very human, and I like that. With all my studying and in theater in the past, and so it was just tremendous. Great.
How is the chemistry with Ante as a director, and how he works with you? Because you're obviously his brother, but also as one of the actors. How does that chemistry work? Give her a little, throw back the curtain a little bit, and tell us how that kind of plays out.
Yeah, I totally embrace it. Someone asked me in another interview, do you like taking orders from your brother? And I said, yeah, of course, because geez, I show up with a lot of work, and I study, and if my brother's directing, I want to hear something. Sure, he's the one, he's the eye outside, and it's easy, it's fun, it's a joy. At times I get involved with the work. I know he went to the new school, and he's been doing it a long time, and to throw up the curtain, I couldn't be happier working with him. It's just that easy. After I kind of do the work, then after I'm like, oh yeah, that's my brother. So it's great.
It's such a blessing.
It's just so that there is an underlying chemistry there. I'm sure that just kind of flows in. So yeah.
We're talking about Leaves of the Tree, folks. It does air at the Gasparilla Film Festival here near the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area. If you're here local, that's on Saturday. And if you're near the Sonoma Film Festival, that's on Thursday. So this is going to be dropping, and it's called Leaves of the Tree. A very interesting drama mystery with a lot of, the miraculous healing power of this tree and what that really means. Talk about the exploitative aspects of the big corporation, the church. Is it a real miracle or not? So a lot of interesting questions that are being raised in a very dynamic film with an amazing cast. And we're talking with one of the stars of that, Kresh Novakovic. Did I get that right? Am I butchering your name too much, Kresh?
You're totally not butchering my name, but am I saying, is it Brandon? Is that right?
It is. You got that right too.
I do have, I grew up in the Bronx, so I do have a little bit of which I get rid of for the film. So that's fast. So I grew up in the Bronx. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it totally right.
You could turn off the Bronx for a role, I guess. That's always, is that kind of challenging to turn off the Bronx?
Turn off the Bronx. Yes, it is challenging, but I think that's just the work, the study of it all. You have to study, and from there you embrace that experience. But I wouldn't change my experience in the Bronx. I enjoyed growing up there. It was a great experience.
What is it like, from the producer side of things, to actually take something like this from its infancy to the paper? Your brothers, co-writing a script, putting pen to paper, and now you get to take it to a feature. You see it now; it's going to drop in film festivals and kind of expand and grow its own legs from there. And it's got to be kind of an interesting, emotional ride.
Yeah, it is. It's great to see it. I can't wait to see it at the festivals and see the reactions we get from it. I'm proud of it, and I do want to share it with people. So that's the whole experience of us doing all this stuff. But producing it and getting it finally out, the journey for any filmmaker, especially an independent like this. We didn't have much money, and shooting out in Sicily for about 3 weeks, and getting this team together and prepped, and then shooting a week in Houston. And then all the work that goes into it, and it's a year later. Oh man, I'm super excited. It is an emotional ride because you want to finally let it out, put it out to the universe, and so I think time puts that emotional ride in you. So I'm just super excited, So
it's fantastic. Well, your brother kind of broke the news for us that your next real project is to go back to that feature script that you had written for The Fix, adapt it to a feature. It did really so well as a short film, winning 4 best shorts in film festivals and that kind of thing. So what did you take away from Leaves of the Tree that you think will make The Fix a much smoother process, and that you really did learn from this experience?
Oh, just working with the team that we formed. We have a team as brothers, and we consciously decided to work more so together with The Fix, and then we did another short called Tammy with Kathy Moriarty, and then we moved on to this feature as brothers. And then along the way, we had such a beautiful team. We have a great cinematographer, and we're just building John Schmidt, Joanna Liu, another producer that came on board, and what I learned that people make the project, and so I humbly say that as much as I enjoy and love working with my brother, and it's such a great ride, I really truly appreciate all the people and the crew and the people that work on the film behind the scenes, because those are the people that the biggest lesson is to stay close to those people, because they're jewels. They pop up on every film, and so that's the biggest lesson, is to go in with people that you've encountered along the way, and try to make that magic happen again. So the biggest lesson is the joy of finding really talented, good people that can put a film together. So
that team building is so important in just everything that we do in life, and it's such a invaluable thing that you can pick up along the way. And I may have jabbed at Kresh a little bit about the Bronx upbringing, but what it's going to sound like I'm jabbing him now, or I tease him a little bit here, as being, that stereotypical gangster role as he gets his big screen debut in films like A Bronx Tale and moves into Analyze This, Meet the Parents, those kinds of things. And do you look back fondly on those roles, and what did you come away with that is kind of like the big learning experience for you as an actor?
I mean, I'm just going to take the first part of the question. You said you were going to jab me. Do I punch you back with a question? Or no?
I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Keeping the Bronx alive.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. I didn't want it to come across as being a negative, because I didn't mean it to sound like a negative. It was just
No, you didn't. I just wanted to take that jokingly aside. I heard jab right away. My ears lit up much.
Oh yeah, ready for a fight.
Here we go. Ready for a fight, man. So I mean, that is the. Yeah, you do right. So there's in the beginning of an actor's career, they're going to choose you for roles that embrace that element you grew up in very close. And I grew up in Little, so it's to no surprise to me when I go in for these roles that I grew up very close to Arthur Avenue. I worked in the Bronx, which was an predominantly Italian section. I worked at Italian restaurants and Italian American, and being around that, the accent is very much New York Italian American Bronx accent. So they put me in these gangster films from where I grew up. But the Bronx has taught me a lot, and it's taught me to stick up for myself, and also to challenge, to not stop. The lack of makes you want to become stronger.
Absolutely.
So yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah. But the gangster roles, yeah, those are something I enjoy playing. I was around an interesting element in the Bronx growing up.
Meeting De Niro myself, first I couldn't get used to the fact that he wants to be called Bobby, and then two is he seems so reserved. So give everyone your experience of working around him and what you're able to witness in these just great films that he was able to create.
What I've learned, he's kind of an element of an inspiration in a lot of ways, because he's able and he's able to do so much, and I think his reserved energy is because he puts it towards the work.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it so much because it's a refreshing thing. He doesn't talk he as much because his work speaks for itself. I mean, even when he gets awards, he says thank you, and he keeps it very simple. And I think that's even when I watched he was on the Actor Studio, and his things, as you grow as an actor and you have these talents that obviously De Niro's so amazing, but you have him speak about the art, the craft, and how he went about it. And he said, I had these teachers and it was great and all these experiences, but at a certain point you just do. And when you simplify, with all the work, and then you simplify what it is you're going for and keeping it human, it's a great lesson. And there's a lot of strength in that. And what he talks about, what I've heard is discipline, and it's all discipline. And I totally respect that method. I actually believe that. I keep it simple. If I'm on set, I keep it quiet, very focused. I don't like to expend energy as well. I think great lessons can be learned from that. I don't like to expend energy outside, and I challenge. I like to bring it in. I think that internalness, bring it in. Say if a writer, he wrote something for a purpose, and you have to respect that. And the director's telling you something because they're seeing something. So taking it in, less talk, more involved with the work, it helps. He's one to be admired. Yeah, I can't say more. I mean, I'm sure
He's amazing. He's amazing artist, right? The greatest of all time, and you've said a lot to that.
Right?
Yeah, it really is one of the greats. What Kresh? Switching gears a little to off career. What do you like to do in the downtime? How do you like to spend your time, kind of keeping the batteries charged, and be it up for the game when it comes?
Oh, I love staying connected with people. I love sharing. I love going back into different I'll different. I always try to find work within this art form, or I'll go back and encourage younger actors, or I'll go to festivals and go see people's films, and I try to encourage what I truly love, working in this industry. So I tend to go see theater when I can, support other people in this job, and really just try to keep sharing and keep human. I love playing hoops too. I play basketball.
All right, now we're talking. So he's a producer, folks. So if he's in there watching you perform, it may be a good thing. So don't think he's there to judge you, because Kresh is looking on with eyes. You never know.
Yeah, that's right.
Kresh, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you, man. But no basketball players, please. I have no connection there. I have no idea if I'm watching a game of basketball. Man, I just meant theater. Yeah, sure.
You sure we're straight. All right. Leaves of the Tree, folks. You definitely don't want to miss out, especially if you're going to be making it down to the Gasparilla Film Festival here locally in the Tampa, Sarasota area, because it is definitely a huge thing, and you'll be down there with us watching. You don't want to miss this one, Leaves of the Tree. A great cast, and we really appreciate Kresh and his transparency about the film and his experiences, inspirations. It's really been a great chance to get to know him. So thank you again for fitting this into your schedule, my brother.
Thank you, my man. Thank you so much, Brandon. You've been so